Okay, clear nightscape. It's like the car ran out. I'm just cutting clips down to have like 2 lots of 6, so I can do 6 minutes, and then the next clip will almost be 6 minutes. Little trick I'm learning, or learned over the months. Now I've got to get back down without breaking the leg on this stuff in Crocs with probably a brittle edge. Oh, yes, a very fractious. There's one of those yellow flower daisy things, not a buttercup, but starts off with leaves that can almost be confusing with plantains sort of thing. And I think they're the real ones. They're also the ones that have the fluorescence too, that our man over in Deutschland rather than Scotland make Gideon laugh, reckons shouldn't be possible. And I'm thinking, well, isn't observation one of the early parts of the scientific method? You know, it's as if cannonballs are bouncing off tissue paper, you know, something you wouldn't normally expect. Yeah, just like, Gideon and the snap chemicals of the New Zealand pygmy from the volcanic plateau. Well, it looks like it's probably a distant hybrid of something else as well in there, but it definitely does have chemicals, you know. I didn't disregard, and I didn't say it wasn't possible. I said, well, show me, you know. And within less than 24 hours, he'd taken some footage, and apparently there was a trick to making them snap, though. And I told him best to keep it to himself, get it into publication, into print, because from my experience, unless you get it into print these days, there's no real courtesy or what's the word, giving credit where credit is due sort of thing. So I'm giving real credit where credit is due sort of thing. So, or backhanded ways of doing it. As I said, if they name that other one on Kangaroo Island, they're probably going to name it Schmeggy Eye. So they can't give you the full honours. They can only give it in a backhanded half gesture approach sort of thing. Even though it's a lot better than Smutsy Eye, I can assure you fellas. I just thought it was a very, very good subspecies, you know. I thought, well, if any of these things are going to evolve over the next 100,000 years, that's probably going to be the one. And it's anatomically different to Smutsy Eye. Just putting it out for you fellas, look closely on those photographs. There are anatomical differences between it and Smutsy Eye. You're just not paying enough attention to it, you know. So with anatomical differences, it cannot logically be Smutsy Eye. Therefore, if you've named Smutsy Eye as a species, there's another species out there just by logic alone. And as I said, my personal opinion, I think it's better than Smutsy Eye because it's so rotundifolia-like. You know, I mean, I just picked out the best part for photograph from the colony in the barely 3 minutes that my partner was giving me, because, as I said, we were stopping off every 10 minutes along that roadway. You know, so 2 to 3 minutes at every stop, soon mounts up, and that's why she was only giving me 2 or 3 minutes, because we were driving 60 k's down the road, stopping every 10 minutes. So there you go, you've got your locational data there, go back and find it. And as I said, it was on the edge of this crater-like expanse, so obviously presumably the seeds were falling back into the crater of the park and germinating and growing back. And I don't know what's in the park there in that, and it's also in the zone between the crossover between the arenaceous section and the calcareous section, up to Cape begins with B, I think, up there in the corner there. So it's at the crossover point. So, you know, there's some real good evolutionary speciation forces going on there. Differences in soil and also topography. And the fact that the seeds are probably rolling back into the park over many hundreds of thousands of years, germinating, growing back up, falling, you know, so there's a good chance that there's something even better, maybe even different further on, you know, down that crater edge of the park, and here comes the rain. And maybe I should take some shots out there for you, make it more interesting. Otherwise, 84, 116, 184, that's sort of roughly what I'm seeing with my eye. Maybe, yeah, that's basically what I'm seeing with my eye. Colours in the monitor are slightly different to what I'm seeing with my eye, but then again, it should be all taken, you know, now we're too far. There we go, so out there for you. Hopefully, now we said at the end of here there was something really interesting, and I've got this almost like poison smell in the air. Didn't I mention last time we were here there was like a poison smell in the air? I think it's from the pine trees. I think it's from these Pinus radiata. They sort of put out this sort of poison smell before the season really gets underway, sort of thing. Maybe because they're under stress, because they're going through the dry sort of thing. But what are we up to now? 6 minutes now. The time to start a new clip and go on to another setting.